Silence! It's time! It's time! It's
time for another episode of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. Grab a six-pack, sit back and prepare to laugh. It's Drunk Dash Nerds podcast.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 207 of the Drunk Dash Nerds podcast. I'm your host, as always. I'm Tyler, and joining me, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself. We have Sir Colonel Gables. What's up, buddy?
3 weeks away, roughly, until E3. I am excited, Tyler.
Oh, me too, buddy. I have the week off from work.
Oh man, the week off, man. I am just going to be sitting in my freaking break room, just reading off little bits of gaming news and stuff. Unfortunately, I can't really get anything off, like, in terms of that week. But at the same time, it's like Sunday and Monday. It's just going to be predominantly those 2 days and stuff. And I'll see most of it anyway, plus catch Nintendo Direct when I get home, potentially on that Tuesday.
Yep.
But
well, and I think EA stuff's on Saturday this year, so
it's Saturday.
Yeah, I think EA is on Saturday. I think who's on? A couple people. I think Bethesda is on Sunday. I think Microsoft. Microsoft's on Sunday.
Microsoft's on a Sunday.
Yeah, then I think on Monday it's Ubisoft and PlayStation. Then Tuesday is
Nintendo.
And I think Monday or Tuesday is also Square Enix, which no one gives a shit about Square Enix.
I think Square Enix is probably on Tuesday, and I think that the whole PC showcase is supposed to be on like Monday as well.
Yeah, no one gives a shit about Monday though. That one.
But yeah, man, it's like this is going to be an interesting type of E3 too, dude. But I'm just saying that because it's like the whole days are different. People are actually going going to be attending E3 that that they wouldn't before because it's open to the public and stuff. And it's like,
yeah, it's E3 is one of the best weeks of the year as a gamer, as far as not playing games, but as far as like news and all that. Really, it's kind of shows off what you're going to be playing over the next 6 months to 2-3 years, or in Last Guardian's case, 12 years. So yeah, I am super pumped for that, for E3 to come up. A lot of big stuff, like what the hell is Nintendo going to do to make the Switch big thing? What the hell is Scorpio? How's PlayStation keep dominance going? Is Ubisoft's press conference going to be 19 hours straight again, like it was last year? Is there going to be some sort of like shit or something involved with Vivendi possibly taking over their studios before the end of the year? I mean, hell, anything could potentially happen here, Yeah, it's fun. I always look forward to E3. Even when it's a bad show, there's still always 1 or 2 nuggets you can take from them. So.
Oh no shit.
So yeah, it's gonna be I'm definitely looking forward to that. And we're at the point now where like a lot of like people are revealing some things, not like a lot of like small details here and there, and then the big stuff's gonna come at E3 obviously, but announcing stuff or revealing a few things here and there, or a lot of rumors right now too. So we're gonna have over the next couple weeks or so a lot of little nuggets here and there. So that's nice. Then oddly enough, we always talk about around E3 time, nobody's releasing games. People are just talking about games coming out or are coming up or going to be or in development. Right now, we actually got shit to play. There's shit coming out. It's crazy. Like,
it is absolutely nuts.
We got AAA games coming out like 2 or 3 every month for like the first 6-7 months of the year. It's insane.
Now, I agree with you, Tyler. And I'll just put it this way right here. For you kids that are actually listening right now, who are like possibly in your teens, 15, 16 and stuff, there was a time in the whole video game industry where big blockbuster games would not be released until close to the end of the year. We're talking September, October, November.
Yeah.
Those months in general were our savior points for gaming in those times of the year. Now, companies don't give a fuck. They'll go and just release any type of games that they want, predominantly, if ever, it just meets their whole like financial criterias or whatever the heck that they got going on for that point. And so fast forward to this current year for 2017, and we got freaking all these crazy games coming out in this past March, and then all of a sudden May, we have like about at least 1 or 2 big game releases right here as well, and we're kind of being thrown for a loop.
Yeah.
Because next month is also going to be crazy. Because you have Tekken 7, that's a big thing. You have ARMS, that's another one of our topic things that we'll get into.
Splatoon 2's in July. It is asinine. I mean, we've talked about a lot this year, but like, goddamn, like it's every month. There's like seems like 2 big games come out this year minimum.
Oh yeah,
not including consoles. Yeah, so it's been a crazy year, and it's only gonna get crazier in a good way. Hopefully, with when E3 comes around. But before we get into some of that, actually, you know what? Fuck it. We can go right into the news. We'll do games later.
All right.
So, kind of speaking of, keeping on with kind of the E3 stuff and things coming out. So I'll just go in order of what's in the show notes here. South Park Fractured But Whole. It's been delayed like 14 times over the last like 2 years, it seems like. Supposed to come out like last October, and then it got delayed to December, then it got delayed till March or like springtime, now it's finally got a release date. Got a new trailer this past week, coming out October 17th. I don't know if you saw the new trailer or not.
I did. I did. I loved what I saw.
Oh yeah,
trailer.
It was, I've talked about it. The first one, Stick of Truth, was my favorite game of 2014.
Yeah.
So, and if it's as good as that or near it, I'll love it. I mean, I'm South Park's favorite show, and Stick of Truth was like the greatest hits of South Park, and I hope Fractured But Whole, and plus playing off the whole fucking Marvel DC universe kind of shit, making fun of all those movies, and I love that trilogy of they did with the Coon and all that, Coon and the Super Friends and shit a few years ago on the TV show. That was a good little arc they had, and I'm obviously all in on this. The game, that fucking trailer was hilarious. PC Principal's in this one, who was one of my favorite characters in South Park. Are you PC, bro? So October 17th, can't get here soon enough. I'm bummed it's not. On one hand, I'm bummed I can't play it now, but I got so much shit to play right now. I'm kind of happy it's not out because I'd be just pushing off more shit to play.
Dude, I know what you mean, man. With that South Park game, it's like I keep on hearing now. It's like the game. You can pre-order it digitally through PS4 and through possibly Xbox One right now, but it's like you could still get that free South Park Stick of Truth game if you've actually had the pre-order thing before and stuff. You haven't got like some sort of refund. You could download that game today if you really wanted to.
Yeah,
I've been hearing.
If you pre-order, so I pre-ordered it right after E3. So right after E3, they announced that like you pre-order Stick of Truth or Fractured But Whole, you get Stick of Truth for free with it. But if you didn't get the game, you got a code with it when you bought the game. But if you pre-ordered it digitally, you got to download Stick of Truth right away. So they released Fractured But Whole as a pre-order, like right after E3 last year. I pre-ordered it, downloaded that, beat Stick of Truth last summer. I love that game again. But when it got delayed out of December, in like this fall, like last fall, they canceled the pre-orders, and I actually lost Stick of Truth and all that stuff. Which understandably, I didn't have. They gave my money back and stuff and all that, so I didn't make sense. Like you didn't pre-order it technically anymore, so we're taking away the Stick of Truth. Like a month ago or so, I got a message on my PlayStation saying some people lost access to Stick of Truth. I got Stick of Truth back.
You actually got the Stick of Truth back, despite getting your money back for your pre-order.
Yeah, I got my money. I got my money back. And I still got to keep Stick of Truth for free.
Holy shit!
And I pre-ordered. I actually pre-ordered the special edition one. It's like with my Best Buy, it's like $80-something, and it comes with like all the. I guess there's a season pass for this game, which it's South Park, so fuck yeah, I'm in. I guess. We bitch about season passes a lot and what they do, but my fanboy isn't for South Park. I don't give a shit. I'm all in. So when I get the game, I'll have another copy of Stick of Truth to give out to somebody. So yeah, I'm in.
Oh, there you go.
Fuck yeah. I mean, obviously, hopefully nothing else comes out for like the couple weeks after that, because that's gonna take up all my free time. So yeah, oh man, yeah, I'm full. My body is ready for South Park Fractured But Whole. My butthole is ready for Fractured But Whole. So moving on to next topic. One of Drunk Dash Nerd's favorite games of all time. This is getting a sequel. Destiny.
Oh yeah.
One of the most infamous games over the course of our almost 4 years. Actually, this week, May 25th, I believe, marks the 4-year anniversary of when Jake and I recorded our beta show for Drunk Nash Nerds before we actually brought Gables aboard. That was released. It was like 22 and a half. It was like we took a week off and we just released that show, which you'll be hearing sometime down the line when we release that show. But yeah, we're coming up on our 4th anniversary as far as first time recording the show. But anyways, Destiny. I mean, that game took over our summer a couple years ago. All the three of us beat the original campaign like last June or July, or 2 June or Julys ago, and then this last summer we played through the first 2 DLCs. Was like Dancing with Wolves or where the fuck it is, and something else.
Dancing with Wolves.
Dancing with Wolves. Yeah, Destiny Dancing with Wolves.
Yeah, Kevin Costner just appeared out of nowhere inside Destiny. It was really weird.
Yeah, he's actually the 4th Guardian class you can be. So, yeah. I'd be really excited if that was one of the DLC packs that's coming up.
Yeah, I would have been excited too. Huh?
Yeah, but we actually, we played through the first 2 of the DLC packs. I killed Kevin Costner, and we played through most of Taken King. We never finished it. We talked about it before. Gables and I are going to go play through Taken King and Rise of Iron sometime this summer. Looking forward to it. But anyways, Destiny 2. We got a trailer like a month ago or so. It's kind of like a CG trailer. Didn't show any gameplay. Just kind of Nathan Fillion being Nathan Fillion, which is awesome.
Yep.
So they had like a whole stream, hour long. A lot of details came out. A lot of super inside baseball stuff. Because much as we play Destiny, I don't fucking understand Destiny. As far as the story goes and like and like I said, inside baseball shit. But anyways, showed off some gameplay. They showed the first mission you do in the game where they actually go and destroy the tower. So it sounds like that hub. Yeah, the hub's gonna be gone. It seems like anyways, or there'll be a new one. Comes out
already a good improvement.
Yep, coming out September 8th. It's coming to PC, but no date. Doesn't sound like it's gonna be day and date with the consoles, and it's coming to BattleNet. But yeah, some of the details they announced was that you don't have to like leave the map to leave like the world you're in or the level you're in to go to do a new mission, even if it's on the same map you're in. Every time, if you want to do patrol, you had to go select patrol and then get it loaded into it. And if you want to do a story mission, like say on the Russia, and you're already on Russia doing patrol, you have to back out and then load up that story mission, go back into it. And if you had gear you wanted to sell or take in or accept new missions or get bounties, you had to go to the hub world. So you had to go to the tower and select all that stuff, sell the stuff off, buy new stuff, whatever you want to do. Then go back and do that. Go back to the game and pick your level or whatever the hell you want to do. Sounds like what they're doing with this is they're going to go away from all that, which is a big improvement. It's not like this is like a big like new thing because almost every other goddamn game in the world does this. It was stupid that was the case in the first Destiny. It was one of the worst things about Destiny to me. I probably one of the top. If I make a top 5 list, most annoying things about Destiny, that'd probably be in the top 3 or 4 maybe. But also there's gonna be 4 new places you can go to: Titan, a moon of Saturn, Io, I think that's a moon of Venus. I want to say it could be, or Mercury. I could be wrong on that. Nessus, which is I believe just a made up planet. And then you're going to go to a different part of Earth, and a European dead zone is what it's called. And they're saying they are hyping up that the European dead zone is twice the size of Russia in the first game. So it sounds like we're going to have bigger areas to be in, because that was a big complaint about first Destiny. It was only 4 areas. They were fairly small. You went through every mission. You went through a lot of the same sections over and over again, constantly replaying the same areas over and over again. And so if these are bigger worlds and they're more alive, feel a little more alive, I guess there's more things to do in it. I think that's a big thing. They also so their side quests are going to be bigger, more expansive. It's not going to just be how they were in the first one, where it was just like the story mission was like, go to the same spot like 50 fucking times and do these and kill these guys, this wave of enemies, and then move on. Yeah. So it sounds like it's going to be way deeper on that, because the first game really didn't have side missions. It had like 3 or 4 patrol missions, and they were dumb. Go here, kill that guy, and then leave. So they're hyping that up pretty good. They're going to kind of have what kind of sort of matchmaking, where they didn't have matchmaking in the first one. It's so if you want to do a raid or a strike, raid you need 6 people for. Strike you need 3. You don't have to have 3 people, but you can have it's better to have 3 people, obviously. In the other ones, in the first game, you had to have 6 people that you knew, or invite people to play those to do it. You couldn't just meet up with random people on like and just do a matchmaking.
no.
You could like a random battle or random mission. Like if you want to just if I just want to go on Call of Duty and play a game by myself, I can do that. But if you want to do a raid and just find 5 random people and search for a game online, can't do that. So they're not going to have matchmaking per se in Destiny 2, but they're going to have a clan system where you can just join a clan. I don't know if there's a limit to how many people you can be in your clan, and you can match make essentially with the people in the clan with you. So if they're online, so if like me and like if I'm one of the Talk Ship guys are doing like I have a clan in Destiny 2, and they have 5 people and they want another, I can just hop in and stuff, and I can join those guys easily. Just as an example. So that's kind of a cool thing they're doing. That never really bothered me because I wasn't really into the raid stuff. But also they'd make a big change with the PvP, where there's like a bunch of different game types, but a lot of them were 6v6 and there's a couple 4v4 ones. Every game mode is going to be 4v4, which kind of sucks if you're depending on team size. And then also there's going to be an expansion pass. No price announced or anything like that. I think it's $100 if you want like the one that comes with the expansion pass, but I don't know how much it's going to cost separately. I don't know if it's going to be 20. Like the first one was like $20 a piece, or 35 for the expansion pass, so you save $5. 2 add-ons, no date as far as when those are going to come out, and no real talk of what's going to be in them. I imagine we'll get more in E3. But what do you think about Destiny 2? I mean, I know it was kind of like a weird love-hate thing with Destiny for all of us. But are you excited about Destiny 2?
Oddly enough, I was watching bits of the gameplay trailers and stuff and going forth and seeing what was going on with it, and I am kind of interested in seeing what else happens with Destiny 2.
Yeah.
I know there's probably going to be a lot more that's going to be shown around E3 as well in terms of what types of other things, some sort of exclusive things or whatever, but it is looking very promising. Obviously, I still need to see some more before I really decide, like any other game, but it's like, it is going in the right direction by taking away things like the hub world sort of aspects, having the worlds more like open, explorable, not so much repeating the same patrol missions, the same things over and over again, which really got repetitive and kind of mind-numbing to an extent in the original Destiny. From what I've seen so far, the story actually seems a lot more like fleshed out and not so much average at best.
That's another point I didn't mention. Yeah, it's a good point. Go on.
But at the same point, it's like I am kind of excited for Destiny 2, but at the same point, I am not as excited because it's quintessentially kind of following the same kind of models that Destiny was originally, where you have the $60 game, go forth and you have like the season pass type of thing that will quintessentially be like 2 other DLC packs, which probably are going to be like $20 a piece. So quintessentially, they're probably going to do the same type of stuff that they did with the original Destiny, whereas they may have like 4 big pieces of like expansion things or 5 big pieces or something like that. They're going to be like 15, not 15, but probably like $20 to $40 a piece. So quintessentially, it's like the same type of MMO materials that you would find in other types of games and stuff. But I don't know, man. It's like I know I've done it before, where it's like I've bought plenty of the DLC stuff. You actually, but in kind of a funny turn of point and stuff, you did give me Rise of Iron, so of course I'm going to help you out by playing through it.
You know you want to play it. Don't lie to me, you son of a bitch.
No, I know. But yeah, that's how I pretty much feel about it. It's like I want to see more of it. It did look good from what I saw.
Yeah. For the most part, I agree with you. Like I always give a lot of shit to Destiny, but it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, you don't want like a girl picks on you, or you pick on a girl, it's because you actually like them or they like you, kind of thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of the same thing with Destiny. I think a lot of it's a butt of a lot of jokes in the gaming world, but secretly we all kind of like it, and some people not so secretly, because the core of the game, the gameplay is by far the best part of that game and one of the better shooters out there. But the world they built and and like obviously the content and everything around it has been lackluster. Yeah, I mean, the story, it seems pretty good so far from what we saw of it. A little trailer we got and some sneak peeks of it, where we beat Destiny, and I didn't even know we beat that. When we beat Destiny, I didn't even know that was the final boss. Like, remember when we beat him? Like,
Yeah.
Jake's like, yeah, cool, we beat Destiny. I'm like, we did? Like, yeah, that was a fun of us. I'm like, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I don't like
That final mission on Mars, it was abrupt, but yeah, that was the final mission.
Yeah, like I don't even know what the hell the story for that game was. I don't even know what the story at all for even playing on the expansion pass. I know in Taken King, the guy you're fighting, you killed his son in one of the dancing wolves. He's Kevin Costner's father. You're in Taken King. You're killing Kevin Costner's father. So yeah, that's the only thing I really know about that. And some of the Vex, they can spend bedtime or something. So the story seems good. We have a bad guy, and they're building him up a little bit. The gameplay, I'm sure, will be great as usual. I think the biggest thing, though, with Destiny is going to be the content. I mean, that's going to be the make or break for it. And that was the breaking point, I think, with the first one. Is like I was talking about when I was mentioning they were talking like, are we going to go through the same areas 20 times? How big are these worlds going to be? It doesn't matter like the size of the world. There's 50 million open world games come out every year, and most of them aren't memorable at all because of the shit they put in them doesn't matter. So the stuff they put in it needs to matter, needs to be exciting. And also they want to, I mean, the way gaming has changed a lot since Destiny 1 came out. You look at games like Overwatch or Dota 2 or Rainbow Six Siege, where these games, they have, there's a quality of life to them where like there's events going on and people care about these. And it's not like the biggest, these guys don't have tens of million people playing them, but they have a dedicated amount of gamers that go back to these games, and they keep these events and the add-ons they do and all that keep the customers coming back. And they need to do a better job of that with because I think they failed big time. The events they did were dumb. I mean, the big one they did was with the racing stuff, which no one really cared for.
The Sparrow Racing.
Sparrow Racing.
That only lasted for like a limited time.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks. They brought it back every December for like last 2 Decembers for like 3 weeks. The 2 expansion packs they had were forgettable. Outside of Dancing with Wolves, obviously. Maybe one of the best expansion packs of all time. Yeah, I mean, Taken King was like it's the most memorable part about everybody talks about Destiny. They talk about Taken King. They don't talk about Vanilla Destiny. They don't talk about the expansion passes. They don't talk about Rise of Iron. Taken King. So they need to do a better job of that and bring people back, and the stuff that the free events I'm talking about, and then also with the stuff we're paying extra for. I mean, I don't mind paying extra for games for like to play these games for a long period of time, but it's got to be good content. You need to have it regularly. If I put $20 into a great game that I love going back to, and you're gonna give me more stuff here and there, that's fine. Like if I'm loving the thing, I don't have a problem paying extra money, to keep this thing going for a long period of time. I don't want more of a reason to go back to this. If I love Destiny 2, I want more of a reason to go back to it than maybe twice a year for a weekend.
Right.
I want to keep coming back to this once a month or once every couple months. Give me something. Keep it in the news, and like being in new places, all that's pretty cool. The 4v4 stuff, I'm not a big online guy, but 4v4 kind of sucks. I still hate the fact that it seems like they're going to keep 3 players for the single player stuff, which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Because Gables aren't going to play it by ourselves, which is, that's fine. But like when Destiny 2 comes out, I feel like there's probably going to be a lot more people I know that are playing Destiny 2. It's going to kind of suck that, like we might have to kick people out or not let them play with us because we can only have 3 people in this thing.
Oh, I know, right?
And at least, if there was a bunch of you can go on. If there's 6 of us, we can go on and play online. But now we can't. So if there's, 4 of us, I mean, whatever. And the raids are hours long. So it's like, I'm not going to want to, if I play a raid, I'm not going to want to go jump right to another raid. So if there's 6 of us, we could have jumped in and do some multiplayer for a little bit. Now we can't. So it's like your options are limited if there's 3, 4, 5, or 6 of you. Like you don't really have. You can do one of these 3 things and that's it, unless you want to kick people out, which obviously you don't want to do when you're playing with your friends. So I don't know. I mean, am I going to buy this day one? Maybe it's coming out at a good time, September 8th. I mean, as far as I know, we don't know what's coming out around that time. After that, anyways. I mean, there's a couple like Uncharted, Lost Legacies coming out a few weeks before that. But that's that's a totally different game than Destiny. So it's gonna be one of those things for me where I'm gonna take temperature of the room with the people I play online with a lot, or not a lot, but I play with regularly, and see where they're at with it. And if they're gonna pick up Destiny 2, then maybe I'll jump into it, because Destiny's a fun game to play, but it's fun with friends. So that obviously every game's better with friends, but you know what I'm saying. Like I don't, Destiny's 2 is not a game I want to play by myself, kind of thing. Like I need people to play it with. Not. So if Gables told me he's buying it, then hell yeah, I'll buy it with you. You know, it's one of those things. If not, I'll wait on it, and I'm sure I'll play it down the line. I'm sure Gables. I'm going to buy this game eventually, and I bet Gables will probably buy it eventually too. It might be. We might continue the summer thing of like where Destiny's our summer game, and we just play it online here and there. And maybe next summer 2018 or 18, we'll be playing Destiny 2 single the regular campaign. Who knows? But I'm hopeful. I mean, E3 we're probably gonna get a lot more news before then, but we'll have to wait and see. Going on, a couple of Nintendo things have come out. I'll jump into the first with there was a Direct this week with ARMS, and then we got a trailer for Splatoon 2. A lot of stuff came out for that. I'm gonna be perfectly honest with you. I got about 10 minutes of this thing and was bored of my mind, so I just skipped. Really? I just skipped to the end with Splatoon 2. I honestly don't know if I could care less about ARMS at this point.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I don't even like hate the game or like the game. I'm just ambivalent about it right now, and I'm not like that about most games either. I usually have an opinion on a game about whether I'm looking forward to it or not, or if I think this looks cool or think this looks bad. I have nothing for ARMS. I hope it's good. Obviously, there's a couple.
Well, that's a shame.
Yeah, a couple things that they did announce. There'll be free updates for this game. They didn't say for how long or how many, but there'll be new characters added and ARMS and shit over time. There'll be a global test punch, much like they did with Splatoon 1 and 2. It's going to be actually next weekend, May 26th through the 28th, and then also the following weekend, June 2nd to the 4th. It sounds like we're doing three 1-hour time slots per day for that. So it's much obviously it's like Splatoon they did with the first two Splatoon games. So I'm definitely going to check those out. Obviously, it's free to download. You just got to download it on your Switch and then find out the times. You can go to the Nintendo website. You can just Google it, I'm sure, and find out the times. I'm not going to tell you on here. You can do that yourself. But I'll definitely check it out. I expect they're doing it over the course of 6 days, over 2 weekends. Especially this coming weekend is going to be Memorial Day weekend, so I'm sure more time for people to play it, or more chances for people to play it, I guess. There's no excuse not to try it out. It's coming out June 16th, which we already knew. But that's kind of the stuff I took away from it. There's a lot of other things. I'll let Gables, I'm sure you watched it, and I think you're more excited about it than I am. So I'll let you go over everything else. But like I said, I don't know if I could actually care less about this game.
Well, the thing about the ARMS Direct is I did really much took a lot more out of this than, obviously, I got a little bit more about it than like what you pretty much went into, Tyler, and stuff. I do have interest in side fighting games. This one really strikes a chord because it feels fresh in terms of what type of... this is the type of new IP I've actually kind of wait for, because it's like it's kind of reminds me of how I was with Splatoon at first, where it's like it was definitely a new type of IP. It was a new type of experience to go through, but playing through Splatoon last year, it's like, man, that was something that I felt was very refreshing and that was very intuitive. And yeah, you know what? I will be playing Splatoon 2 when that comes out in July. I mean, there's a no-brainer on that. It's like, after that trailer that I watched and stuff with the single player stuff and all the crazy shit that you're going to be going through inside, exploring the random stuff. I mean, yeah. But that's Splatoon 2, though. But for ARMS, I love the idea of going through experimenting with different types of combinations for fighters, have all these creative-looking fighters as well and stuff. Like, this is one fighter, Twin Tail, which basically uses, her big old long ponytails and stuff like that, her whole long pigtails and stuff is fists and stuff to hit her opponents with and stuff like that. Then you have this Kid Cobra thing where it's he's just quintessentially a dude that's a friggin' spring cobra that just goes maneuvers all wacky and shit and stuff and just smacks you in the face with these Salamander type of fists and stuff like that and coils. I like the idea that Nintendo's pitching when it comes to different types of weapons that you can earn through the game and different types of experimentations, through elemental weapons, through this and through that. this almost reminds me, almost like similar to what they've done with Splatoon 2, and possibly make it some sort of possible competitive like esport, where it's like both games, Splatoon and ARMS, are very similar to that. It's kind of like Nintendo's own version of their own type of like competitive sort of esports sort of games that they could take to some, like say an Evo or some, and like with ARMS potentially like an Evo sort of an event and stuff to where people could get people will get very highly competitive and stuff with their ranked modes and do this and do that. I mean, obviously it's going to have its own like niche type of audience and stuff like that, but you know what? After all the new character reveals and stuff, after all the new type of combinations and stuff, this is a game initially when I first saw it unveiled, it's like, okay, this is ARMS. It's going to have some motion sensor sort of like mechanics and stuff where it's going to have some motion control, but there's some interesting things inside the gameplay. And now after revealing a couple of more subsequential things through now 2 like directs in a row pretty much, I am now forming the opinion where I feel like I'm probably going to buy this game day one because it looks really exciting, and I personally can't wait until I can go through and download one of those like test punch events.
I think you can download it now. I think it.
Yeah, you can.
Okay.
You can pretty much download it now, but you can't really play anything until the dates.
Yeah, if you want to get pre-installed, you can do it now. You don't have to wait till the day of. Yeah. The one thing, the only reason I jumped in and checked it out was because I was excited for Splatoon 2 to see what the trailer was for it. And they announced there's a single player trailer, showed off some shit for that. Looks more like some of the stuff we got from the first Splatoon game for the single player, which is the thing I loved about that game. What made it one of my 5 favorite games of, I think, 2014? 2015?
Yes.
15. So... Splatoon 2 went from a game that I was probably on the bubble to buy to, that's a day one buy, especially in July.
Yep.
Yeah, Splatoon 2, you're going to be mine,
That's the
baby.
dead zone. July is the dead zone.
Yeah, that's just me waiting for Uncharted and Madden. So I am... Yeah, Splatoon 2 looks fantastic. Just a single player stuff anyways, gameplay on that. And then I was really excited for I forgot what it's called, but the Horde mode they essentially have. That could be really cool. It's man, I like Splatoon. I like Splatoon 1 a lot, but it's kind of got that Destiny thing to it. Whereas, I want to play that game. I play Splatoon a lot more if I had like friends to regularly play with. And now with the Switch being a little more popular with the people that I game with, if we can do that Horde mode stuff, or we can do online, do some private matches, then I hope to play this game a lot more than I did the first one. The first one I played it all by myself pretty much all the time, and I put like probably 15 hours or so on the online portion.
Yeah,
and I was actually really good at that when it first came out, and then I went back to it like 6 months later, and fucking Japanese people are insane at that game. So I got my ass handed to me. So I'm like, all right, well, it was fun while it lasted, but yeah, that was my one key thing that came away from me on this thing is. Splatoon 2, obviously. That's going to be a day one buy for me. And if you love Splatoon, you'll probably love Splatoon 2. And it seems like you're just going bigger and better with it. And I hope people check this out, because I know Splatoon 1 sold really well. They sold over 5 million copies on the Wii U, which is really impressive for a console that sold just shy of 13 million consoles.
Oh, no shit. It's almost close to like half.
Yeah,
of the Wii
40%
U owner base or something.
Yeah, 40% of your owner base own that game, which is really good especially for a new franchise. Especially when that's online, mostly an online game, and obviously Nintendo and the internet haven't quite met yet. They've shaken hands once or twice, but that's about it. So yeah, I mean, I hope ARMS is good, obviously, and I want to like this game. I want it to be good, and I want it another Nintendo game for me to buy for my Switch. And I hope it's successful, obviously, because I mean, the more successful ARMS is, the better it is for the Switch, and it is for Nintendo in the future. So, I mean, I guess we'll find out. We'll probably talk about it next week on the show, because I guess we'll be able to.
No shit. I'm just the most excited about it because it's a new Nintendo IP that I'm actually interested in playing.
Yeah, so I mean, Splatoon was a really good new IP for them, and hopefully they keep coming up with ARMS. We'll have to wait and see. That's kind of the stuff with the direct. I mean, I guess you don't want to talk about much, but what'd you think of the Splatoon 2 trailer?
The Splatoon 2 trailer and stuff, I thought it was pretty good for what it was showcasing, which is quintessentially just a little preview thing for the single player campaign.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was good. We'll probably see a little bit more during another direct.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see a lot at E3 because I guess. Wow. ARMS comes out, I think it's the Friday after E3. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a one last big push for ARMS, one last big push for Splatoon 2, and then I think, obviously, Mario Odyssey and all that stuff. Well, I think maybe next week or 2 weeks we'll probably do, our E3 guesses kind of show, opinion, things like that. So, but yeah, I'm sure the next few weeks are going to be a big push for them, and obviously with the test punch coming out, we'll know a lot more then. Finally, with keep with Nintendo, some rumors kind of came out, and it seems like more of the rumors, almost confirmed kind of stuff. Obviously, we knew Animal Crossing game for mobile phones is in the work. It's been in the works for a while.
Yeah.
And it got delayed. It's supposed to come out before April of this year, but it got delayed till they said before April of next year. But it seems like more than likely to come out sometime this year. But on top of Animal Crossing in the works, which we don't know anything about, other than that it's in the works, we don't know anything what kind of game it is. A Zelda mobile game and also a Pokemon card game are in the works for the mobile phones too. Those are both. The Zelda game for sure is coming out after Animal Crossing sometimes, but we don't know anything about the Pokemon games. The Pokemon game, other than the fact that these games, the Pokemon and Zelda will probably be 2018. Seems like, but I don't know. This seems like big news as far as. I mean, Nintendo is pushing more and more towards the mobile phones, which they've, it's been a big thing of them for the last couple of years now since they announced the partnership with DNA. But they've been kind of outside of Pokemon Go, which was a huge thing last summer. But even it's the biggest thing Nintendo's had. But even though Nintendo doesn't actually own Pokemon, it's been the most successful thing for them. The Super Mario Run was kind of. It sold well, but it was a disappointment overall. Fire Emblem Heroes, I think it was called, kind of came and went. Miitomo kind of came and went as well. So I don't know what these games are going to be. Animal Crossing, I would hope it's just like a smaller version of what the actual games are, which I think could be huge on phones. That's a perfect phone game. Animal Crossing is. The Pokemon card battling stuff could be cool, but the free-to-play stuff will probably turn me off from it, but I think that could be pretty successful for them. Because I know they have the Pokemon card game for the PC that's been around for a long time, and not the biggest thing in the world, but it's been around for a long time, and it's still got a pretty good fan base for it. The Zelda one is the biggest, to me, what the hell is that game going to be? Like Super Mario, easily transferable to phones from a 2D side-scroller kind of thing. But what the hell is Zelda going to be? I don't even know, what it could be and what I would want it as a fan to be. Do you have anything in mind? There's been no real rumors, or anything coming out for what they're working on for that.
Oh, man, that would be kind of surprising, but I think it would actually be kind of surprising to see if it was actually something related to an actual adventure game, I mean, how the hell would you make that work on a phone, It's I don't think it's going to be a traditional Zelda game, because it's going to be something that's going to be subsidiary possibly to what particular games of that type. It could be just a point-and-click sort of miniature adventure type of thing for Link or whatever. But when it comes to some of the other games and stuff, it's like what you were saying, Tyler. The other past Nintendo games that they've done for mobile and stuff, they've had some moderate success and stuff like that. But a lot of which of the games that they've put on the Apple Marketplace and Android, there's been a bunch of microtransaction things, along with the only rare exception being Mario Run, which is just an upfront cost of $10, which people don't want to fucking pay $10 for a Mario game on. Handheld, apparently, considering that over 2.5 million something people they downloaded the demo for free. Well, they didn't buy the entire game.
I think it was actually there's been 40 million downloads or something like that.
Oh, I see.
Between Android and iPhone, but I think like less than 10% of those people, or not less than 10%, less than 20% of the people actually paid for it. So you got to think maybe 5 million downloads, like paid downloads, is pretty good at $10 pop for a phone game. But when you get out of 40 million, you get 5 is kind of you don't get any money for that 40 million. So that's a bit of a that stings a little bit. And I didn't really care for Super Mario Run, but I've been upfront about my not being so much of a fan of 2D Mario games. I'm more of the 3D Mario game kind of guy. So,
well, Mario Run wasn't exactly a bad type of game.
No, it wasn't.
It was pretty fun for what it was.
It wasn't a bad game. It was just it was one of those games where you can easily beat in one sitting, and there was no real reason to continue playing it after you finish the game.
That's very true.
So, especially for a phone game where people want to go back to it constantly.
Unlike some, like an Animal Crossing miniature thing, where that's perfect for a phone setting where you're just going through taking care of your home, doing little random garden things. That's easily like a point and click sort of like type of game, because you just tap to collect certain fruits or vegetables or something like that. Just design your own type of things or buy designs from friends and stuff like that. That makes the most sense out of any one of the games that have come out so far on that device.
Animal Crossing, you can argue, is a better phone game than it is a DS game.
Yeah,
it could be if it was what Animal Crossing New Leaf was. You got that on the phone. That's fucking incredible. Like, I'm not a big Animal Crossing guy, but even I think that'd be pretty cool. And obviously the Pokemon card game is perfect for phones. So I don't think it'll be as big as Pokemon Go was, but I think
it's
cool.
Definitely not going to be. I mean, hell, the Pokemon company even has like their own like trading card game on Apple stores.
Oh, that's right. They do have one
for their iPad.
Yeah,
so
it's not really advertised though. So
no, it's not.
I feel like if they got a good push and Nintendo got behind it and Apple got behind it and stuff like that, then it could be bigger. I mean, like Yu-Gi-Oh actually released a card game for the mobile phones, and
this past year, and people really seem to enjoy that.
Yeah. My only thing is, like, obviously I don't hate the idea of free to play, but if you really get into it, it's just way more expensive. I'd rather pay $20-$30 for those games. Like,
I'd rather have a lump sum too, and just play the game that I feel for free, instead of like
Pokemon Picross on the 3DS, the free to play game. Like, if I could have just paid $20 for that game, I would have been much happier with that. The free to play model ruined it for me. And then there was what was that Pokemon that match?
Shuffle.
Pokemon Shuffle I got hooked on that game for like a fucking month. And then I quit playing.
That got infuriating.
Yeah, but the free to play model made that game infuriating to me. And if I could have, I would have they would have got more money out of me. I would have paid $20-$30 for that game and been happy with it than what they got. I think in the end I gave them $10. And then the free to play model just kicked in, and you're like, all right, well, this is obviously bullshit unless you pay real money for it, kind of stuff. So I know a lot. I mean, I know I bitch about, but I don't blame them for doing it, because it's probably making way more money off of it free to play than they would if they charged $10 for it or whatever. I think at best with the Zelda game, it could be a small scale Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds kind of game. Or maybe like a Adventures of Link Zelda 2 kind of game, maybe like side scroller kind of stuff. At worst, I could see it being like a match 3 kind of game or something. I don't know. I feel like that Zelda game could be anything. It could be, I mean, not anything, but for like a mobile game, there's so many different things it could be. Like it could be a small scale Zelda, it could be a free to play bullshit card game, or match 3 game, whatever. I mean, Candy Crush, whatever. Picross, whatever. There's already Zelda Picross actually. But yeah, I'm curious to see what it is. I doubt we're going to be hearing. I don't see us hearing anything from. I'd be surprised if they say anything about Animal Crossing mobile at E3. I bet that's going to be announced later on down the line.
Well, they did announce that Fire Emblem Heroes game like during the Direct this past year.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to keep that stuff separate. I feel like this year is going to be Switch only for them, and maybe a couple small 3DS things.
Yeah, it has to be. That's their new bread and butter machine.
Yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see what these could be. I hope it, the mobile stuff picks up for them, and it's made a lot of money for them, but it's way less than they were hoping for it to be, which is concerning. But we'll have to wait and see. Moving on to some there's been some games we've been playing this past week. Is it cool if I go first?
Yes, go on ahead.
All right, thank you. I talked about last week. I didn't like Prey, so I actually traded in for a profit and picked up Injustice 2.
There you go.
People don't know, they haven't listened to us for a long time. Actually, I talked about Injustice 1 on episode 2 of this podcast.
Yeah, you did.
Almost 4 years ago. And I love that game. I beat that game actually 3 times. Beat it a couple times on 360, and then I replayed it again on PS4 just last year, actually. I love NetherRealm and what they've done with the fighting games. Like, I'm not a big fighting game guy. Obviously with ARMS, and I don't really give a shit about Street Fighter and all those games, but I started like Smash Brothers and shit. But what NetherRealm has done with fighting games for me has been great. Like, they have definitely got the casual fighting game fans and found a good way for them to jump in. It's a fairly easy to pick up 3-button fighting game with a really great single player mode, which is, for me, that's all I want. Like, I want a great single player game for fighting games. So I like playing fighting games, but there's not enough reasons for me to go back to them, especially at $60. It's a little steep for me. But with Injustice, I like I said, I beat the shit out of the game a few times. That was before I even really got into, like, never been a comics book guy, but I like the Marvel movie universe, and I actually watched Superman versus Batman a couple weeks ago. It's actually not a bad movie. But over the last few years, since Injustice 1 came out, they've had a lot of TV shows. Like, I love Flash and Green Arrow, 2 of my favorite shows currently going right now. I really enjoy Supergirl and Legends of Tomorrow. So I know a lot more now about the DC universe than I did with Injustice. Where Injustice, I knew Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Arrow. I knew those guys a little bit because as a kid I watched cartoons and I watched Smallville back in the day. But now, like, going into it, like, they've expanded the characters so much. There's, like, I think almost 20 characters at when this game out now. Where, like, in the first one, I think actually like 26 or way more. I think 20. Where the first game there was, I think, 15 or like there was 20 something after all the DLC came out. If you played like the Game of the Year one, or whatever the hell they want to call it, Definitive Edition.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot more. But a lot of them was like their top tier guys, like Lex Luthor, Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Arrow, Catwoman, like all the ones everybody knows. But with this one, they have definitely kind of gone into the next tier, where it's like all the A and B guys, and now they've gone down to like the tier below that, where like say they have like Captain Cold, Cheetah, Black Canary, Grodd, Grodd, who is a
Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah, who is a gorilla that can speak telepathically and also has psychic abilities and control people's minds, which is really crazy. But it actually works really well in the show, in Flash. So it's kind of cool going into this now, knowing a little bit like who these characters are, being a fan of the television shows. So you're a little more hooked and a little more invested in these characters than I would have been going into it now. Like I still, like, obviously I love Injustice 1 before all that, and I know I'd probably really enjoy Injustice 2. But I'd be really fucking confused because there's a few of those now that, like, who the hell is this? Or who the hell is that? Like, I don't even heard of these people. But now I actually have some context of what the hell was going on. So it's even better. And, like, this is by far, like, I love the first Mortal Kombat game they made. I love MKX. All the storylines, single player. I just play the single player mode. I don't give a shit about anything else. Because I'm terrible at the game. But I feel pretty cool in the single player mode. But the story they made so far is great in this game, where it takes place a couple of years or so after Injustice 1. Where Injustice 1, they went with the multiverse kind of stuff, where there was multiple, universes, and they brought, like, Superman killed Joker because Joker tricked Superman into killing Lois Lane, who was pregnant with Superman's child, and he went bad. Yep. And Batman in that universe brought over all the Justice League guys from a different universe to help him to stop Superman. So it takes place a couple years down the line from there, and now it's like Superman's in jail. Batman is kind of run the show, and he's kind of trying to get some of the gang back together and keep everything. And everybody, some people have gone their separate ways. There's different bad guys popping up over here. But then, like, Brainiac comes, who's I don't really know much about Brainiac because he's
Brainiac, like, classic wise, Brainiac is actually one of the major enemies from Superman.
Yeah.
Even back from, like, their comic book iteration and stuff like that. He is quintessentially the being and stuff that actually, I believe, leads to the destruction of Krypton to a certain extent.
Depending on which, some people in some comic books, TV shows, whatever. General Zod led to the destruction. Some is Brainiac. That's the part I do know.
Yeah.
About it. But yeah, basically Brainiac. His thing is he loves like his knowledge. That's his one thing he thrives for is knowledge and learning things, and that's his one big thing as a villain. He destroys planets everywhere he goes, and then sucks up all the knowledge about of that planet. And basically the way Justice 2 starts off is Supergirl and as a teenager, and Kal-El, Superman, as a baby, they escape Krypton, their planet, right before it blows up because Brainiac goes there and destroys it. And then he finally makes his way to Earth, and Supergirl finally comes out of her like deep sleep where she actually didn't age at one day. And her mind's been warped because like actually like Wonder Woman is a bad guy in the first game. Is like Cyborg's a bad guy in the first game. There's a bunch of characters. Flash was a bad guy in the first game. Like a lot of the Justice League heroes that we know and love, or some people know and love, are actually bad guys in the first one. And now like some of them are still bad guys. Some of them are trying to like win their favor back, like Green Lantern, Flash, and all of them are trying to come back and like show the world that like they made a mistake and they want to make up for that. And so anyways, Brainiac's there, and it's kind of like Batman's trying to stop him, but also at the same time there's people trying to get Superman out of jail. There's so many, and then like the society's popping up with Groot's leading his own army of bad guys with like Captain Cold, Cheetah, Catwoman, and shit like that. There's just so many different factions going on right now, and it's really cool.
That's
and
actually pretty awesome sounding, actually.
Yeah, like the story is incredible for a fighting game. And the way the other one was always done really good job. They're 4 for 4 right now so far. I haven't beat Just 2 yet, but I'm past the halfway point. Where they do is such a great job of making a pretty good story to a really good story, and then also seamlessly turning those into fights. And the fighting, obviously, for someone like me that doesn't, like I mentioned, not a big fighting game fan, they have done a great job of making that feel good. And the new characters all feel pretty good. Like a couple of them are like they borrow a lot of the same fighting. Like Supergirl has some of it's kind of like in Super Smash Bros. Melee where they have Link and Young Link, where Supergirl
kind of like clones of one another and stuff like that. Only like give or take a few types of attributes.
So
moves.
Superman's slower but more powerful than Supergirl, but they share a lot of the same move sets. But I actually had Supergirl's actually really fun. Young Link is my favorite character in Super Smash Bros. Melee. So far, Supergirl's my favorite character in this game. And also Black Canary is really cool too. I'm actually normally I like the tank kind of guys in fighting games when I play. Like they do powerful moves. And in this game, I've actually really enjoyed the smaller, faster characters. Outside of Catwoman, like Flash was my favorite character in the first game. He's really cool in this game. Like Captain Cold is actually pretty cool. He's kind of like he's kind of the Sub-Zero of the game, where he like obviously because he's Captain Cold, he freezes people.
Obviously,
but his moveset's pretty cool. Like everybody feels in this game unique. It doesn't feel like like nobody really feels weak. Like everybody, like there's obviously weaknesses, but their strengths they're really good. Nobody feels overpowered so far. Like there's always a like going up. Like I did like a battle between Bane and Catwoman, where I was Catwoman and fighting Bane, and I actually whooped his ass just because I was so much faster than him. And that feels good. Or like actually like fighting, being a tank, and then finding a way to fight these characters. Like I'm dying, I'm losing a lot. This game is tough. I'm playing on normal, but finding the weakness, like it's frustrating at points, obviously. But like finding a better way and getting better as you go on. Like sometimes losing is more, it works out in your favor because you get more experience with these characters, and later on throughout that chapter with these characters, you get feel like I'm getting better. But yeah, it's great so far. I'm loving this game. Fucking NetherRealm knocked out of the park again. So that means probably in a couple of years we'll get, all right, maybe next year hopefully we'll get Mortal Kombat 11 because I'm all for that. But yeah, so far great game, much better than Justice 1, and that could just because now I know more about DC. But it's great so far. I recommend if you like the NetherRealm games, even if you're not a DC fan, if you like those games and the story and the way they do it, pick this game up. Maybe I can see, like maybe the $60 price point for this, because you can beat the campaign probably 4 or 5 hours. Campaigns aren't very long. But yeah, if you're not, You can wait. I mean, obviously. I mean, if you're not going to play more than the single player mode, I mean, if you can get it cheaper down the line. But so far, yeah, this is one of the best games I've played so far this year, which is saying something because I played a lot of really good games so far this year. So yeah, it's great. I love it. I hope it is successful. It's getting great reviews. I don't know if I'm going to be buying any DLC for this game. But yeah, it's great. And they actually did some cool stuff where they actually added some more single player stuff to it. Where like the first 3 Netherworld games they made had just like mainly the single player stuff, and maybe like some you can do like the challenge mode where you fought like you climb the tower kind of thing, and you fight 10 different people, and that's like they're kind of the old school like Mortal Kombat thing, like we fought all these characters and you beat them, and that was it. They actually had a thing called like multiverse where you can do like different challenges every day and fight different characters. Kind of a cool, unique way to keep the game fresh. I haven't really delved into that too much, but from what I read from it, seems pretty cool and people are liking it. So if once you beat the single player campaign, you're not really into doing any online shit, because I know I'm not. That's kind of a cool way to keep you coming back to it. And they added some like they've gone like with some RPG elements to it where you can actually unlock gear, and they have like kind of like loot boxes you can unlock called mother boxes, which is I guess a big thing in the DC universe. I don't really know, I know a little bit because of the movies, but they're like loot boxes basically you unlock and you get gear for your characters. So they've added some shit so you can like actually, they don't affect the single player mode at all, or like I guess if you play ranked matches online, it doesn't affect it either. But if you play like just like outside the arcade mode, or you play locally or whatever, you can actually like get better armor or better weapons or different gear for your characters, and it kind of can change your stats based off that, which is kind of a new thing for typical fighting games. So there's definitely that does some cool things to kind of keep the people coming back to it after you beat the single player campaign. I'm probably gonna check out the multiverse shit after I finish the game. I'm hopefully gonna finish it in the next couple days. But yeah,
oh man,
yeah, this game is.
I'll tell you what,
it's fantastic, dude. Go ahead,
man. I'll tell you what, man. If not for the fact that Tekken 7 is going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks, man, I would probably be going all in with Injustice 2.
Yeah,
because dude, I love fighting games. I mean, it's no real big secret. I was a big fighting game fan even back when I was a kid, and now it's like, I know, I love the original Injustice Gods Among Us. That was a fantastic game, and it's the only type of game I've actually played from NetherRealm and stuff where I've actually thoroughly enjoyed, because, honestly, I just do not like the styling of Mortal Kombat with the whole fatalities and all depth and all this other evisceration of the stuff. But Injustice, I mean, hell, that's up my repertoire right there. I love superhero type of games, all these fancy, like, scenarios and all these other type of dream matches, like matchups and stuff. And from what it sounds like, Injustice 2 continues that trend and is actually considerably better with expanded moves, expanded different types of characters, potential for awesome types of DLC. I mean, hell, I saw the first DLC pack that they're going to be going off with, like, say, with Starfire, with Sub-Zero, with, like, freaking, oh, God.
There's a couple other ones, but, like, they've, like...
There's a couple other ones, but
they have, like, 12 or so, like the deal, like their season passes and shit they've done with the Mortal Kombat and Just games, they've done a great job for extra content. Like I think Injustice 1 had like 12 new characters with the season pass. I think Mortal Kombat 8 MKX I think had like 16, and it seems like there's at least going to be like 9 or something like that with this DLC stuff, because they got like 3 DLC packs that they're planning on bringing out, and they kind of tease a few other characters are coming down the line. But yeah, the new characters have added in this, and then also just what's coming down the line is fantastic. Like especially like I said, I know the universe a lot more now. It's like Firestorm. And there's one character, he's like Blue Beetle. He's like a beetle guy in a beetle costume, or like a beetle suit from Mexico. Who's actually pretty badass. I don't know who he is. I've never heard of him before until this game.
The Blue Beetle.
Yeah, he's pretty badass actually. He was really cool. I've
actually heard of that character, but I've never read any of his stories.
Yeah.
As long as they don't have somebody like Asbestos Man, but even though that's Marvel though.
Yeah. See,
Asbestos Man was a subsidiary type of villain from Daredevil comics.
Oh, okay. I figured he's a tick villain or something.
Here's a spoilers warning. He actually dies from his own suit because his own suit causes him cancer over the years.
Oh, okay. That's sad. Oh yeah, speaking of, not only speaking of, but speaking of kind of comic book shit, Logan, watch that fucking movie. It's fantastic. I watched that this past week. Really good movie. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. It's pretty much it for me. Probably talk about one more next. Like I said, probably finish up, talk about more next week, and then I'll probably check out ARMS. So, yeah, good week for games for me. Go ahead, Gables. I went on long enough.
All right. So yeah, anyway, the the games that I've played this week. Well, gaming this week for me has been kind of interesting because I played a little bit more Rocket League, and even to the extent I spent money on all the DLC for the whole Battle of the Battle Cars, the whole Chaos Run, and stuff like that. And then I came across another interesting little DLC mishap happening here. I have gotten every trophy for the DLC stuff except for the Battle of the Battle Cars. As a matter of fact, the DLC that I had purchased, Battle of the Battle Cars, does not even register inside my own game for some reason. I'll tell you why. Here's the thing about it is I got the other DLCs. I got that NBA flag pack, which I think I've said on record on the podcast that I don't have any of my fucking flags that I paid $2 for.
Yeah, that's right.
And I've paid $4 for this DLC pack, and I do not have the cars that registered on my freaking game file, despite having purchased it on the PSN. So quite literally, I have about 88% completion for Rocket League. I've already gotten the Platinum a long time ago. I mean, I don't give a shit that it's like, okay, it's not like I wanted to 100% complete the game or anything, but I sure would have loved to at least have the other two battle cars so I can at least attempt to play through and complete the game if I really felt like it, since I've been playing it now for how many years now?
3 years? 3,000?
Yeah. And that was a free game that we got off of PSN one summer. And here I am, I'm still playing that game. That's my go-to game. Yeah. That's my Madden, quintessentially.
Yeah. Yeah. Talk about me here. The way I put like 3 million years worth of gameplay into Madden every year. So, give or take. Could be a bit sarcastic there. I don't know. But go ahead.
Now the thing about me is I'm not so much a completionist inside of like particular aspects, but when I really get into a game, and if I feel like I'm going to turn it on and try to complete something, having a little mishap like that creates some sort of obsessive compulsiveness to where I'm trying to figure out what I need to do, how I'm going to do it, and I'll try a couple different things, because if I do not find a way to get that stuff registered on my little game file and stuff to actually make those cars appear, I'm probably going to delete the whole game off my system. Because I have exhausted every single thing to do in that game. I've beaten the season modes, I've went online, I've unlocked every single trophy except for going through and collecting a painted item and like leveling up a certified item and stuff. You need money in order to try to get stuff like that, apparently. Which I do not want to pay for achievements.
I'm gonna be your call center guy here. Have you tried unplugging and plugging back in your PS4?
I have tried booting up the game, closing it, and reopening the app. I have tried, and I'm going to try this again, deleting the game off my PS4.
Oh, wow.
And installing it on, and then downloading the DLC thing separately.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems to be the most obvious thing.
I was going to ask that. Maybe like go in, maybe just try to, because you can just delete the DLC. I mean, maybe just try to delete that shit off there and
like,
reinstall.
How would you delete like individual DLC though?
I think if you go to your library, so if you scroll all the way over, if you're in the PS4, the main screen, whatever, you go all the way over to the right and check out your library. You'll say like, you'll show all the games you paid for. You go to Rocket League, it'll show 6 add-ons or how many ever add-ons you own for it. And you can probably go in there and look them up individually and be able to delete those ones. I don't know. Could be wrong. Or maybe go to the store, the PSN store, and go to the Battle Cars DLC area and maybe see if you can re-download it or something like that. Show it in there. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I could try doing... I can try seeing like a little bit later if I can do something like that, but it registers that I've downloaded all those DLC and it's installed on my file.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure whether it's a glitch that potentially could be what's causing this issue, but at the moment of time, I do not have the 2 battle cars and other types of items that were promised inside this DLC pack, and also I still don't have those NBA flags that I've really wanted, because, I kind of like to have the option to support the Golden State Warriors on my team, on my little flag thing on my car, considering my car is Warriors colors.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, if it wasn't all of that and stuff, I mean, hell, even regardless of that whole issue, I still went through the process of playing a lot of Rocket League this past week. I probably played a little bit more than I've had in the past couple months, because I was actually making a point to see what else I could do inside that game, since I've been playing just a bunch of random exhibition matches and some random online matches where some people are good, some people are okay.
But Gable's a god.
Don't call me a god. At least I'll attest, though, that I have great reflexes when it comes to to anticipating where something's going to come into a general direction, so that I could go forth and possibly catch something at the last possible moment. Like, for instance, if I drop something, I'll somehow be able to catch the darn item that I've dropped without even breaking a sweat or even double thinking about it. It's instinct. That's sort of the way I kind of play Rocket League too, because I'm so used to the whole ball, the trajectories of how much they would bounce off the walls or off the ceiling, or the exact moment of when I should jump and flip in terms to get the thing over a goal and stuff.
Nah.
But other than that, though, I've decided this past week that I wanted to try Dark Souls one more time. So I went off to GameStop, and I bought Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, and I have progressively started up a new game for Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. I've played roughly around an hour and a half. I've went through just the first miniature section. At one point today, I was actually going through and watching a 40-minute tutorial of how I could go through and just kind of understand the game a little bit more. Because here's the thing: these type of games fascinate me because they kind of remind me of old games like Castlevania, like Ninja Gaiden, where you need a particular set of skills in order to get past certain areas. It's the whole, this game is not going to pull any punches. You got to get better at the game in order to advance further. So I took the time to look through a bunch of these little tutorial things. I decided to just follow little bits and pieces of it. And right at this time, I have at least leveled up a few times. I've collected enough souls to where, hey, I am able to upgrade my Estus Flask. I'm able to go through and find a particular set of weapons that I could get in order to make things a lot easier. Because with my current build that I'm doing with Dark Souls 2, I am trying to experiment with a sorcerer. Meaning my intelligence stat is really high up. It's about 15 or something at the start. 14, 15, give or take. So my overall plan is I want to try to go ahead and grind on this particular spot near a bonfire, to the extent where I'll pretty much harvest a bunch of souls in order to upgrade the intelligence staff and the intelligence stat and a lot of different other stats in order to make my character strong enough to where I can progress to the next area without so much of a sweat. I mean, right now I have not even faced a boss. I have faced a bunch of side characters and some that I would consider mini bosses in other games, even though in this game it's probably oh, hey, this is enemy number 2. This ain't a mid boss, that's the mid boss. With the fucking thing the size of a Godzilla.
Yeah, fuck that game. It's too hard.
But it just gone back. It just takes me back to classic gaming style. This is going to be kind of a test of patience with me because I am experimenting to see how long this game is going to keep me interested. Give or take, this is the third time that I've purchased a Dark Souls style of game. I've not quit because of how difficult the games are. It's been kind of just hit or miss because I've had the game on PS4 before. I ended up trading out my PS4 last summer with a bunch of other games that I had to get an Xbox One S, and obviously that didn't work out for me either because I grew. Oh God. I don't know what it was. I just got burnt out because there was not any type of first-party games I was very much interested besides maybe Forza Horizon 3, to actually go through and play that I was interested in. And so I ended up trading in the One S because by that time I had a PS4 that Tyler pretty much gave me for almost next to nothing.
Hey, you gave me enough money to buy Horizon Zero Dawn, so it worked out mine.
Well, yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, worked out.
But yeah, it did end up working out for both of us in the end during that exchange. Yeah. And after I was
gonna say, it's funny enough. The controller, I was just thinking about this the other day, or actually earlier today. The controller that you have, that I bought, like the things that go over the analog sticks because the old analog sticks got destroyed because I played Injustice 1 on it. So,
oh, so this is the controller that you broke things while going through Injustice 1. That's funny.
Using the analog stick so much it actually rubbed off the little rubber pieces that go over the analog stick itself because of Injustice, playing that so much. So yeah, I was just thinking about that earlier today. I'm like, oh yeah, like this the first one of these destroyed my controller. So now Gables has it.
Yeah. So Rocket League was the reasoning why that I destroyed the rubber off my other controller to the extent where I had to play. Where now, whenever I get a new PS4 controller, I have to put little thumb grips on.
Yeah.
Which I have, by the way, on my my blue PS4 controller. Which, you know what, that controller's not too bad. I don't know why, but I don't think the microphone port works on it.
Oh, that sucks.
But anyway, back to the whole like Dark Souls 2 thing. It's sort of less a test for myself to see how much patience or how much of the extent where I want to play this game. Because if I play this game and stuff, and if I get hooked on to it, I mean, that's great and stuff. But if I just go ahead and I am not even remotely interested in playing any more of it, I'm getting rid of those games quintessentially. Because this is the third attempt. If I'm not hooked, I am not going to play them again.
Yeah. You're giving it more credit than I did. I played 2 hours of Bloodborne and gave up on the series in general. This is the entire that entire genre of games. Gave up on it. So,
well, the thing about me is like I only have so much finite amount of time to play and experience certain games. I mean, all of us do. We're adults here, but
well, by age, an epic, yes, not so much in maturity. I'm talking about myself here.
But with a huge-ass game like, say, Dark Souls and stuff, I just want to play games where I can immediately go through, know what I'm going to be doing, and then just get from there instead of investing so much time inside of a 40 or 50-hour RPG, which I'm not familiar with, and then go through whatever type of rigmarole in order to try to get better. So today and tomorrow, the rest of tonight and tomorrow, I'm going to be trying out some more of Dark Souls 2 and see what else happens. So I'm giving it one last shot. But other than that, that's pretty much what I've been playing.
All the credit in the world to you, buddy, because like I said, I couldn't do it. I can't do it. But before we move on, I wanted to... I didn't mention it last week because I wanted Troy to be here. I figured if I'm going to fillet him, might as well do it while he's here. So, a couple weeks ago, May 7th, it was my birthday. Turned the big 28. So, I didn't know anything about this, but Troy blocked me on Facebook. And, 1 second, there's a plane flying over my head. There it goes. Nintendo must have known I was talking about him. So anyways, he blocked me on Facebook on my birthday. I did a thing on the Talking Ship group where I didn't know any of this was happening. But a big thing I've been doing this past year actually during E3 is my goal. If I got to $500, I was going to get a tattoo of the Extra Life logo on my arm. Last year, I got a little shy of it. That was $370. Good year for me. My best year I ever had. But then, obviously, didn't reach my goal. So, he was nice enough to go in the Talk Ship group on Facebook and block me on, like I said, and told everybody that it would be really cool that on my birthday, they got me as close as possible to my goal of $500 so I can get this tattoo, and how great would it be if it was on my birthday. And much to Troy's surprise and mine, because I had no fucking clue what was going on, I started getting all these donations popping up. And Troy was nice enough. He donated me some money. Sean Stewart, Shipwreck Panda, a.k.a. Jason, his wonderful wife, Chelsea. Adam Mutton, a.k.a. Mutton Chops, all the way from all the way from Australia, donated money to me. Colby was nice enough to donate money to me.
Motherfucking Colby.
Nerves, Tim, a.k.a. Tim, one of the creators of Talking Ship, donated to me as well. Colby's sister, Amanda, donated to me. Nathan and Michael also donated money to me on my birthday. Raised me over $300 million on my birthday. Got me $300 million. Got me to $570 for the year so far.
Oh my god!
Blew away my $500 goal I had. Blew away what I earned last year already in early May. At that point, so not only did I make my goal, I'm getting a silver medal. I'm getting the T-shirt. I will be getting here shortly a Extra Life tattoo. I wanted to do it while Troy was here. That's why I didn't talk about last week. Unfortunately, he's got not really. Unfortunately for us, he's not here. But a lot of cool shit is happening in his life right now. Is the reason why he's not here. Graduating, getting a new job, all that shit. Hopefully he'll be back soon to talk about with all that. But he's got bigger and better things going on than our podcast right now. But Troy, if you are listening, I've already thanked him a couple times, probably 500,000 times. I want to thank you again on the show. And thank everybody again for donating to me and making my birthday not only a day to remember for the rest of my life, but my birthday, one of the best birthdays of my life. Really cool. Yeah, really cool thing. It was a really cool way Sunday night on my birthday to kind of wrap up the day. Troy unblocked me and told me to go look on Facebook. I looked on Facebook and found out what the hell is going on and read everybody's messages, read his wonderful message to me, about me, I should say. So, yeah, it was cool. Once again, thank you to everybody. And once again, thank you, Troy. But that's going to wrap up the show for the week. 1 second. You know what? I'm going to take another drink of my beer here. It's too good. Anyways, like I said, wrapping up the show for the week. I want to thank you guys so much for listening. If you enjoyed the show and you want to hear more from us, we are on Facebook. We have a page and group. It is Drunk Dash Nerds on there. So like and join us. It's a good way to go to when we release your shows. It's the best way to find out as soon as the show releases. It's a good place to be. Also on Twitter is a great place to be for that. Drunk Nerds Pod. I'm sorry. Follow us on there. One of the next places to go for when the show comes up if you want to listen to it as soon as it comes out. Also on YouTube, we are Drunk Nerds Podcast, so subscribe to us on there. We got some videos up there. You can like those videos and subscribe. Like I said, tell your friends. Be great. Every time you like a video, Gables gets a promotion in the army, so that's a cool thing. And also on Twitch, we are Drunk Nerds Podcast on there. So follow us on there. I want to thank you guys once again for listening to our show. Before I forget, iTunes. Most of you listen to us on there, but in case you're not, if you're listening to us on YouTube, because that's where the show goes as well, you can check us out on iTunes, Drunk Dashers Podcast, obviously. If you can give us a 5-star review, we greatly appreciate that. If you actually write out a review, we'll read it on the show, and we will shout you out on the show. So once again, also greatly appreciate that too. So once again, thank you for listening. I was your host as always. I was Tyler.
And I have been Colonel Gables. So, until next week, everyone, game hard, game heavy, and don't forget to get a couple of brews and just relax in front of the TV and do whatever the hell you feel like is right.
And also, sorry, Kevin Costner's dad for killing your son in Destiny. Dances with Wolves. Feel really bad about that one.
Dances with the words. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude.
Bye, guys. Excuse me. Few too many beers there. Anyways, we're on iTunes now, so go on there, check us out, and if you like us, leave us a review, and we'll even shout you out. And Jack will send you his credit card number.